Anyway. Oh, so there is this teacher strike in Chicago. Uh, the teachers there have walked out over a dispute and pay. I guess that's what it is. Well, here's a news article here. Well, that's a live thing. Now, here's the thing. The teachers basically want a pay raise. And you're having the drudgies and the right wingers and all that. They're saying, "Oh, fire all these teachers. We don't need to pay them anymore." Now, here's the thing. I go on Drudge. Oh, here it is. Here's Drudge report, and there's a lot of coverage on this teachers union walkout. And here's the thing. He's saying that, according to a news article, the National Review, that they turned down a 16% pay raise, right? And according to CBS Global, teachers in Chicago have the highest average salary in the nation. The average salary is $76,000 per year before benefits. Okay, is that? See, this is what really amazes me about right wingers, and I can go after liberals all day, and I could. But the thing is that right wing fanatics, they hate it when people get a pay raise. Employees get a pay raise. Because teachers, and there are many good teachers out there, and you know who you are, and there's some who are really bad, and those need to get, that's the one thing that we need to reform with the teachers union, is that when you have really bad teachers, kick them out. All right? We cannot afford to lose any more children to the dropout rates and all that because we are trying to satisfy the unions. No, that's one thing that we do need to do. You see, somebody who's a moderate, somebody who has common sense like me, can think through this and actually find the appropriate solutions. Now here, the teachers unions are trying to ask for a 16% pay raise. Could it be generous? I don't know. I'm not there, so I can't really say. But the right-wingers and the Drudge report, are basically saying, no, that's too much. $76,000 per year is too much. You know who they're beginning to sound like? Yeah, like liberals. Because liberals think that if you make more than 50 grand, you're basically rich. You're like $76,000 a month. Okay, let me see here. No, that's not it. Let me get my calculator here. Where is it? Supposedly, this computer has, oh, there it is, a calculator. There we go. All right. So let's say that the average salary, average meaning that some people make less. Also, some people make more. That means that if you have a PhD, this is how it works. If you have a PhD, you probably make a lot more, closer to $90,000 a year. But the average, says Drudge report, is $76,000 per year. And let's see here, $76,000 per year. And let's divide that by 12 months. Okay, that's $6,333. $6,000 a month that you get paid for being a teacher in Chicago. And let's say that a teacher has a mortgage payment. What's the average mortgage payment in Chicago? Does anybody know? let's see. I'm gonna say that the average mortgage payment, because most of the teachers can now afford a living wage. Oh my God, you can actually earn money to be a teacher to actually buy a house. That's interesting. You buy a house for let's say the house is worth probably, let's say when you bought it, probably they bought it years ago. So let's say the average value of these mortgages are around $350,000. Yeah, that's probably correct for Chicago. So that would be around. That's probably like a $2,400 payment. Around there. $2,400 a month. Alright, let's discount that. $2,400 a month. And let's assume that. Let me get another sheet of paper here. Let's assume that all these teachers are heterosexuals. And they have kids, right? So let's say that's the mortgage payment. So now teachers, this is the average now. We're not talking about exceptions here, right? The average. Teachers now, after their mortgage payment, that will include taxes and insurance, $3,933. That's how much they're left with. Let's say, oh yeah, you need 2 cars. Let's just say that the average teacher has a car. Let's say a car, yeah, one vehicle, and they have a car payment on that. Let's say that the average value of those vehicles are about $30,000. So on a $30,000 car loan, you're probably going to be paying around $450. Okay. So let's go ahead and subtract $450. Okay, now you're coming to $3,400. Then 3,483, whatever, some change. Then you come to insurance. Let's say the utilities are $1,000 for a house. You know, you have cable, internet, cell phone. That's also a utility. Let's say it's $1,000 for utilities. Now you are down to $2,400. Then now let's talk about food. Food has increased over, and you have a family of 4. Let's say you have 3 kids. An average teacher has 3 kids, and a wife, or a husband, whatever. But a wife. So that would be, I think, for a family like that, that's $1,200. Cheap food, by the way. I'm not talking about high-end stuff. I'm talking about the cheap food with all the corn syrup and all that shit. All right, how much is that? Let's subtract $1,200. Okay. No, that's got to be more than that. Oh, it's about $1,283 left. Okay. That's $1,283 left. Now, let's say kids want, they want ice cream, they want to go out, allowances. Don't forget you have to pay the gardener, you have to pay. I mean, $1,200 is not enough for me. I used to make $100,000 a year, and still, for me, that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough. And I'm single. You might be saying, Jose, what are you spending money on? Well, like I told you before, I'm a big spender. I'm the kind of guy that you need for a regrowth on the economy. And the reason why is because I spend money. I go to restaurants. I order out. I pay for my cleaning, for my dry cleaning. I pay for landscaping. I pay for the pool guy. I used to spend, I made $10,000 a month. I spend $11,000 a month. Okay? You might be saying, Jose, wow. Ooh. No, it's not wow. Ooh. I felt poor. I was poor all the time because I never saved money, and you have to save money these days. So you're pretty much left with $1,283 once you pay the bills and your groceries. So that will be money, for for vacation, stuff like that. That's not enough. If you are a heterosexual with family, that's not enough. And you know how these Republicans and these right wingers are all about the family? Well, why don't you give these teachers more money then, so they can support the damn families? You see, this country, I don't know what's up with this shit. Now the Drudge Report wants everybody to be fighting against these teachers. Fight. They want us to fight each other, right? Those who are making 100,000 fight with those who are making 50,000. Those who are making 50,000 are fighting with those who are making 25,000. A class warfare, thanks to Drudge Report. Oh yeah, great. No, the teachers are not the problem. It's the banking elite who are making millions in a day. Why don't we go? I mean, if you're saying that, if you, Matt Drudge, and all of your followers and all of you drudgies, you Drudge cock-sucking, worshipping drones, are having a fit over a teacher making $76,000 a year, why don't you have a fit with somebody who's making $6 million in one day? And all these automatic trading platforms, these where you trade, where you make like, some guy that I know was making 5 million trades a second on a platform, and he makes millions. Why? Because he's looting. He's betting against countries, he's betting against currencies, he's betting against other people. And he has spies and everything. I mean, these guys are on the brink of basically breaking the law. If that means if we have any laws. we're gonna be totally lawlessness here, where the rich, 1/10 of 1% of the elite who control the country, they're the ones who make the millions. And they don't want you to know that. They don't want you to go after them, right? They don't want you to do that. So what they're going to do, all of you drudgy morons, you Drudge Report readers, is that you're going to go after the teachers' unions. Those are the bad guys. Even though the unions were always there to build this country. I mean, without the unions, we didn't have a country. And what really pisses me off is this, is that in this country, the U.S. of A., we had the highest wage earners in the whole world. We were. I mean, now it's getting, our standard of living is totally whack. People are getting poorer and poorer, and these teachers who are making $76,000 a year, yes, of course, I would be happy with that. Right now, I'm making less than that now. But I'm not envious. I'm not a teacher for one, so I don't understand. Maybe they do need more money. For crying out loud, maybe they do. I need more money too. Maybe I should strike. Although I own my own business, I don't know how I can do that. And really, you know, when I start hiring people, I'm gonna pay them a living wage. I mean, come on. This is ridiculous that we as a country are paying peanuts to people these days. So if you're paying somebody minimum wage, oh, that's good. You know that people like Henry Ford have said, you pay your people good. You pay your employees good. Why? So they can buy your cars. That's how you grow an economy. You start employing people and you pay them good. Don't just pay them peanuts. Don't just give them $4 an hour to be flipping burgers. Back in the day, in the 50s, if you were a burger flipper, you were making good enough money to buy your own house, working at McDonald's. Now, you work at McDonald's, you'll probably share a room with somebody. What kind of shit is that? Why don't the drudgies and the right-wing reactionaries, and even the liberals, why don't they grasp this idea that there's something wrong in this country, that the standard of living is diminishing, the middle class is going away, nobody's giving a shit, and then we are bickering because we don't want to pay a little bit more money to our teachers. Now, I think that teachers should be paid based on their work, on their ability to be good teachers. The better the teacher, the higher you pay them. That's how you should pay them. I have nothing against paying a teacher $100,000 a year. I have nothing against that. I used to be paid that way. I wasn't a teacher, but I had a different business back then, so I was making a little bit. I had good money back then, but now I don't. But now I'm envious of not of other people. I'm envious of the time when I had money. So now I want to, now I'm building other things to create money for myself, to create my own wealth. I'm an entrepreneur. That's how I am. And teachers are there to fulfill a certain need, just like I fulfill another need. You get that? So if you're saying that paying them $76,000 a year is too much, how much is too much? How do you judge that? Do you believe that me getting paid $100,000 a year was too much? Maybe you might think so, but I worked my butt off. I worked a lot when I was making that much money. I did. So, believe me, I know how it is to work hard. When somebody's making upwards of $75,000 a year, it's because you're working hard. Why can't we be pro-America? Why do we have to fight with each other, fight with the teachers, fight with the people? Why? Shouldn't we be behind these teachers and say, yes, we support them? Because if we can get them what they need, we can do that with other sectors of our society, other workers as well. People need to be paid more. That's how you get the economy going. Listen, if people have more money in their pockets, then they can spend the money. They can go out, go to the restaurants, go to the theme parks, that's where all the jobs are. They can spend money at your restaurant. They can spend money at your theme park. Spend money on your movie. Spend money on buying shit from your shitty eBay store. That's where the economy is. But if you don't understand that, you must be a moron that just loves to read Drudge Report and regurgitate everything that Drudge says. Moron.